What's up, DBs? Coach D Magic here, former D1 defensive back. We're here to break down some Dontae Manning film, DB out of Oregon. He ran a 4.26, guys, and to my knowledge, I think 4.26 is the fastest time of any DB going in this year's draft. There might have been one other guy that ran a 4.27, I think, but 4.26, man, is blazing. So you're looking at the fastest DB in this year's NFL draft. Now, I like to break down these prospects. Obviously, we want to break down their strengths and their highlights, but I like to use this exam. I like to use their film, to teach lessons so that you guys can rewatch this video for the next 10 years. And it can teach you things. And then when you're coaching, you can teach your players. So I feel like highlight tapes are cool. Draft prospect tapes are cool. But I like to break down the fundamentals of what they're doing. And the reason why I'm choosing these plays right here, as you see, he is a corner. And most people think that playing corner means press man and interceptions. But when you play real football, against a real team like Wisconsin, and they got 2, sometimes 3 tight ends in the game, all that quick footwork, all that press man, all those interceptions go out the window. You got to become a real football player. You got to become a safety linebacker. You got to become a man down here. And so many times I see corners ducking smoke on the edges. So prime example, I was watching a high school game, and these were some of the top schools in the country. And consistently, like the corners were consistently giving up the edges, not understanding how to read blocks, not making tackles on the edges. And when we missed tackles, and they weren't even missing tackles, they were just nowhere to be found. They had no idea how to play on the edge. So I just got done watching, that tape. And I'm just so frustrated by that tape that I got to break this down. All right. Enough of me talking. This is how you do it, guys. Okay. So whenever you have a tight end on the edge, essentially as a corner, we're setting the edge. Meaning the ball cannot get outside. We got to keep the ball inside because that's where our help is. We got 10 players on to the inside of us. So that's where we want to keep the ball. There's no help to the outside. If they get the sideline, they're gone. So you want to read blocks, okay? Now, we're just going to call down block or arc block, all right? So if he's down blocking, I would say meaning he's blocking down, okay? He's blocking down. Most times, right, if you got a wing here, even if you don't have a wing, but because we have a wing, got to be aware of that because he could come back across, which means we got to set the edge off of him. And then if he blocks down, you got to be aware of the wing swiping across, okay? Now, once we get that down block, essentially, we want to pin the hip. We want to get here and set the edge, keeping our outside arm free just in case we have to just in case we have to take on this this puller, per se. So if the ball breaks if the ball breaks A gap, B gap, even C gap, that's really not our gap, right? We should be gapped out. As a corner, just set the edge. Be ready to set the edge. And don't duck smoke because, honestly, I used to be like this. I used to hesitate. And then when I realized, when I'm the hammer, when I'm going first, the hit doesn't hurt at all or it's very minimal. All right, but when I'm waiting, and that running back gets a full head of steam, that's when the hits start to hurt. And that's what most corners are worried about. They don't want to tackle. So if you want to set yourself apart, you got to be able to tackle, all right? Key in the end man line of scrimmage, either 5x2. He looks like he's 7x2, 7 yards back, 2 yards outside. Down block, be aware of the puller. At the end of the day, pin the hip, set the edge versus down block. Pin the hip, pin the hip, pin the hip. Don't worry about the ball bouncing this way. It looks like a counter. Don't worry about him going this side. Okay? Do your job first, and then we can rally, and then we can pursue if the ball breaks that way. Good job. Boom. Good stick. 4th down. That's a 4-point play because now they got to kick a field goal. They probably kicked a field goal. Instead of getting 7 points or whatever, They got to kick a 3 for 3, and we just saved 4 points. Crack and replace, all right? Crack and replace is something you're going to find yourself in as well, because now we have a receiver. Now, once that receiver starts to adjust his angle, okay? He's not really running a route. He's adjusting his angle to the inside, all right? As he's starting to block that safety, right now we can already see that it's a run. But if this if this receiver wasn't lazy and wasn't scary, he looks kind of thin. If he wasn't scary and he wasn't afraid to go actually block this safety, you see how this receiver stops and he just kind of doesn't go for contact. He's scary, all right? Once you get a better receiver who can really go get that safety, you'll be able to trigger faster, all right? So essentially, once he tries to crack our safety, we have to replace, all right? So if you're a running back, right, think about running back. You want to run off the backside of your blocks, okay? So if you're getting a block here, you want to run off his backside. Let's say you're getting a block here, 65, right? You want to run off his backside. So as a corner, we have to replace off the backside of the blocker because that's where the running back's going to go. All right, so this is called a crack and replace, okay? Read the crack, alert the safety so he doesn't get his head knocked off. Replace off the backside of the block. All right, play with leverage. We should be outside leverage, all right? So we should, in theory, have our hat on the outside, all right? Be careful how you're tackling, but in theory, we want to tackle with our head towards our leverage, which is the outside. Boom. Great crack and replace here. Great crack and replace. And he's I think he's 5'10", like 190, guys. So a lot of you guys watching this video are already 5'10". You might not have the 190 size on you in high school, but you guys are definitely big enough. You're definitely big enough. It's all mental. And cover two. Cover two is something that bothers me as well, because I don't see people being physical in cover two. And I'm like, dude, are they not teaching it right? Or like, are just guys getting softer? And I'm not trying to call out this next generation because I was not the toughest, I was not the toughest DB by any means, but you know, some things I see. Some things I see out there, right? And it really bothers me that in cover two, we're not getting hands on receivers. So cover two, all right, you want to disguise it, because if you're just flat-footed at 5 yards, offenses are going to know you're in cover two. So because of the tight split, we're going to be outside leverage. So Dontae Manning, he is going to start open. All right, we could be bailing, we could be quarters, whatever. But at the snap, he's going to turn and get square. He's going to turn and get square, okay? Now, some coaches teach you to play run off of cover two. So as we're turning and we have our eyes inside, you see how we're getting, again, down blocks, right? We're getting run blocks. These are run blocks. If they're moving forward, essentially low hat, it's a run. If they're retreating, if they're going backwards with high hats, a pass, okay? So some coaches will teach you that so you can get an extra run defender, all right? But as we see run, but we're seeing the quarterback with the ball, we understand it's a pass. So as we're getting square, we know it's pass. Now we immediately want to get our eyes to number one, okay? And I teach my guys 2 shuffles. If he works inside, shuffle, hands. If he works outside, shuffle. Okay, you don't want to chase him outside. You know, if he's going to just speed release to the sideline, we don't want to widen too much. But shuffle, 2 shuffles inside or outside, but get hands, shuffle, hands. Now we want to be a flat player. Well, we're a flat player, so we have to have our eyes on number 2. Number 2 is the running back here. But the running back is 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So we don't want to jump that unless we, for sure, see the ball thrown. All right? Hands on. We work with the flat here, but for some reason this linebacker's here. It could be a mix of it could be a quarters where he does have the back out. It just happens to be in our flat based on the concept. Okay, but we see him covered. Regardless if he wasn't covered, we want to flip. We want to hinge with our, all right? Inside foot is going to go back, and now we hinge, and now we want to gain depth. All right, so now imagine we have a flat route and like a 7 concept behind us. Okay, I'm not sure if this is, yeah, it is a 7. It's essentially a 7 a corner. Number 1 bends in. Good job rerouting him 2 yards off the numbers. Definitely messes up with the timing. And then we end up making a play back on number 1. Flat 7 concept. Okay, this is exactly how you play it. All right, last way, or last time. Disguise by playing off man. Boom, get square. Shuffle. Reroute 1. Okay. Relate to 2 in the flat, but he's not beyond the line of scrimmage. Flip, and gain depth. Play the 7, flat 7 concept. Great job. And again, physical finish. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Dontae Manning, 4.26. I'm excited to see who picks him up. He's very physical on the edges, on the perimeter, which is what coaches love. If you want to stand out, if you want to stand out on your highlight tape, put plays like this on your highlight tape. If you want more DB tips and DB drills, make sure you go to thedbnetwork.com.